Good evening, everyone. My name is Will Pomerantz, and I'm Deputy Director of the Kennan Institute. And it's my great pleasure tonight to be here to honor Arkady Gutnikov, who with Street Law's Lifetime Achievement Award. I do so thanks to my previous affiliation with the National Endowment for Democracy, where I was honored to work for 7 years, and which funded this particular project. So I would like to recognize Carl Gershman, Nadia Duke, and the entire National Endowment for Democracy for their longtime commitment to small grants that prove so vital for independent Russian groups and groups throughout the world that want to make a difference. Now, I can't say I remember every meeting that I've ever had when I went to Russia, especially in the 1990s. It was a long time ago. But my trip to Arkady School was memorable, in part because of the enthusiasm of the students, but also because of the encouragement and example by their teacher. Arkady was truly going over new territory when he discussed the law and the rule of law in the 1990s, and he had a unique ability to connect with the students. Of course, Russian skepticism of the law is well known and finds deep roots in Russian history. But there have been periods of time when Russians have turned to notions of the rule of law as a source of modernization and for change. So devoted and inspiring teachers like Arkady are vital and need to be supported, especially if one believes that the demand for law in Russia exists and holds out the hope for a better future. Now, the last few years have been difficult, but over the course of 2 decades, one can begin to point to changes in understandings and appreciation in the law. And it's thanks to teachers like Arkady that the idea of the rule of law has taken root and is present, at least, in the Russian discourse to confront today's challenges. So it is my great pleasure to present Arkady Gutnikov with the Street Law's Lifetime Achievement Award. With the support of the Street Law program, he has made a difference and sought to promote the key missing ingredient in Russian governance and society, the rule of law. So, Arkady.
Thank you, dear.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
I think you got the whole deal.
Okay. Like this. Thank you so much, Bill. I have something for me. I'm sorry, I'm coming just after moot court in St. Petersburg, right after flight, and I didn't prepare the song. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm greatly honored to be received this award. I would like to offer my gratitude to the Street Law for this honor, and it's a privilege to stand here representing not only myself, but the Russian part of a wide international street law community, or I can say street law family. I'd like to use this chance to express gratitude to brilliant professionals and amazing people who has inspired us 20 years ago and supported our efforts during our journey from first modest attempts in interactive teaching of law to nationwide programs for various audiences. My sincerest thanks to, first, Ed O'Brien, Lee Arbitman, Mary Larkin, where you are? Babs Chorak, David McCoydmates, and Monica Platek, and many other street law teachers and trainers from all over the world who shown me examples of dedication to promote the justice and development through the law-related education. I would also like to mention that I must share this award with numerous people in my country. They contributed a lot to initiation of our street law program, called in Russia the Living Law Program, to spread the program from St. Petersburg to about 50 regions of Russia, from one high school to leading universities and teachers training institutions of the country. Mr. Viktor Pronkin was a founder and the main author of our Living Law program, as well as founder of our institute. And we started the history of cooperation with the street law from the first meeting of Viktor and Ed O'Brien in 1995. It's a fantastic example of how much could be done as a result of meeting of right people in right time and in right place. It was in Washington, D.C. Yeah. I'm blessed with a supportive and enthusiastic team from our institute and partners from law schools, law clinics, institutions of professional development of teachers, non-governmental organizations, human rights organizations. I should also thank donors who believed in our street law program many years ago and supported its implementation. The Ford Foundation and personally Dr. Mary Macaulay, the National Endowment for Democracy and Mr. William Pomeranz, the Open Society Institute, Henry Jackson Foundation, and other supporters. Thinking about the success of our program, I realized that a special gratitude should be expressed to the most important participants of our educational activity, to our students. They are so different, school children and law students, young human rights activists and school teachers. In our big country, they are so diverse, having different background, culture, and even language skills. But the advantage of street law methodology gives us an opportunity to involve all of them into active learning process. Their enthusiasm, positive feedback, and practical application of knowledge and skills we teach them are probably the best award, making me satisfied from my work. I remember after my first street law course, one student said, "I learned how to think intelligently." I didn't know what he meant, but I'm still proud of it. We went with our program through a period of startup euphoria in the 90s, being in the mainstream of liberalization and democratization. We've grown up with all new social institutions, using opportunities and facing challenges of educational reforms in my country. And we came to the present time with a great experience, network of partners, number of current projects, including street law clinics, moot court competitions, legal Olympiad, teachers training, exchange programs, and so on. Active methods of teaching practical law are incorporated into routine practice of many teachers around the country. Secondary and high school students demonstrate an encouragement in learning basic law, human rights, methods of conflict resolution, strategies of civic participation. They want to realize themselves in the better future. But unfortunately, today, not parents, no government can guarantee the majority of children the peace and prosperity in the nearest future. Today, Russian society is at the crossroad again. It was a sort of illusion that we overcame the Soviet authoritarian heritage. In fact, we still are in the beginning of the post-empire era. The young generation has extremely limited knowledge about Soviet time, perestroika and reforms of 90s. They have very little experience, or sometimes have no any experience, of participation in democratic practices in real life. And they are under the pressure of aggressive totalitarian propaganda. It seems extremely important now to teach these students independent critical thinking, to make them able to take a personal responsibility, to provide them with skills of problem solving, communication, teamwork. As educators, we should invest our efforts to rebuild societal trust, solidarity, and cooperation based on respect to individual dignity. I believe, I will not think, I just say, I believe we shall overcome someday. And street law, philosophy, and methodology can help young people to become responsible, active citizens of new, democratic, peaceful Russia. In conclusion, I like to quote the comments of Russian law professor from the recent training conducted together with Judith Zimmer and Professor Rikro from Georgetown University Street Law Clinic. That professor from the south of Russia said, "I understood the importance of the law-related education in relation with problems of my country. I am motivated now to change, to help, to improve. I strongly agree with this and promise to devote my modest abilities to continue our wonderful street law journey." Thank you very much again. I am truly grateful for this award. Thank you.